Hello, I'm Ryan Hill, and this is my case study for EDL 850 School Law, the Internet Use Violations, and the Threats over the World Wide Web. In looking at the problem, we really look at what do we know, what do we need to know, and then finally the problem statement. What do we know? We know that the school is an affluent school. Lots of people who have high-paying jobs, professions. Their kids go to this school. The school is, you know, led by a highly regarded and well-awarded principal, and the teacher is a highly trained, although new teacher with little experience. What do we need to know about this case study? Well, the teacher holds structure and rigor in high regards. Parents and students have complained about the workload and poor instruction. Um, and the principal has discussed different techniques that the teacher can use in order to reduce student stress and increase positive interactions. So the underlying problem is that the teacher has received an email with a link to a website that has negative and threatening comments on it. You know, they've looked at disgruntled students or students who may be behind the threatening website, uh, and then actions will have to go from there. From identifying the problem, we then need to look at a plan of action and steps in order to fix the issue. And the first step is to print the hard copies of the email and the web page, and then talk to students who may know who is responsible for the creation of that page. If necessary, then look at or get help from the district technology director and determine the origin of that email. From there, if evidence points to students, then disciplinary action through suspension will be considered. Teacher evaluation, any improvements that they might be able to take will be looked at during that evaluation period for every new teacher, anyways. Resolving the problem, we really have to look at what is best for the students. Students should be given the benefit of the doubt until it becomes obvious that they are responsible. Then, if the student is responsible, then they should be held accountable for their actions. They need to understand how to correctly deal with grievances or issues in the classroom. The avenues to take if they don't necessarily agree with the teacher or the way instruction is happening. Um, they also need to understand the responsible use of the internet. Whenever they get into careers, they're going to have to deal with people they may not necessarily agree with. Um, and the internet's not necessarily the best place to handle those grievances, but it is, the correct way that, you hope to teach these students is that personal one-on-one conversations can happen and can have big influences. The impersonal way of, uh, you know, showing dirty or airing dirty laundry through the internet is not the best method for any professional issues. In this case study, I really like the approach that the administrator took. He took the threat at face value and then promised immediate action. I think that's all you can really ask for from a teacher standpoint. Um, the issues that may still be resolved is that, the first thing you want to do is address the actual threat level to the teacher. I mean, safety is a number one priority. So you got to look at that, and then if the threat is deemed just a misguided way of expressing yourself, then you have to look at policies in order to hold people accountable for those type of threats. In order for an administrator to have a sense of integrity and ethical behavior, and kind of model that for everybody, it is first to listen to, either parents or students' concerns, and then work with the teacher on ways to improve instructions and relations. Also, assure that the teacher, and their health and safety is the first priority. The administrator can then give students a chance to provide their side of the story. So, listening and understanding and grasping the whole issue, um, or the issue as a whole, then you can take appropriate action. So that's demonstrating a sense of integrity and ethical behavior. How does an administrator treat people fairly or equitably and with dignity and respect? I think you have to really look at how do you allow people to have a voice when it comes to expressing concerns or issues. With that, you have to know what is going on and then be able to provide options for people to solve issues on their own, or you can give possible solutions yourself. Um, you know, Equitably, you hear every side of the story before jumping into conclusions. Um, there's always two sides to every story, so making sure that you take those in account, but also, working diligently to solve issues and value other people's opinions. You have to understand that, other people are great resources to help you solve issues. So, hearing them out, they might have a solution that you didn't necessarily come up with. So, keeping them on the equal level playing field is important, and then that shows also dignity and respect. Make decisions based on ethics and principles that all people believe in, and especially your community. So having that shared vision and understanding and those shared principles is important in order to show, demonstrate the dignity and respect of everybody. Some personal code of ethics to live by, is first and foremost, value the worth and dignity of individuals. Then, place primary concern for the development of each student's potential. The student should come first and make sure that their well-being and their best interests are at heart. And then strive to achieve and sustain the highest degree of ethical conduct that you can provide. I mean, I think that's what anybody can really ask for is to strive and to achieve their best ability. When it comes to professional code of ethics, the first thing is to perform to the standards of behavior dealing with students, the public, and the profession live by. You have to understand that in this profession, you have a higher level of ethics than many others. So, if you're doing right by the student, then you're doing right by the public, and then you're also doing right by the profession. So, and many of the problems educators have encountered could have been avoided or generally dealt with just by using common sense and some rational judgment. Well, that's it. I mean, EDL 850. I mean, school law. Thank you so much. I enjoyed this class immensely. I learned a lot. And I'm excited to be able to use some of this in my current role as a teacher, and also, perhaps in the future as an administrator. So, thank you for watching. Thank you, thanks for all the learning opportunities. We'll see you around. Thanks. Bye.